Nā mihi o te wā ki a tātou, tēnā rā koutou katoa. Ko Louis Davidson tōku ingoa, no Waiheke ahau, kei Predator-Free Wellington ahau e mahi ana, he kaihopu taio ahau, ko rangi tōtō tōku maunga, ko ona tangi tōku tātahi, ko pakiha tōku iwi, nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora everyone. My name is Louis and I work as a field operator for Predator-Free Wellington. If you're unfamiliar with the aim of our mahi, the name of the organisation encapsulates the vision. Essentially, to make Te Whanganui-a-Tara, Wellington, the world's first predator-free capital city. What the name alone can't tell you are the implications of undertaking this project in a truly urban setting. I found this out firsthand, as despite a comprehensive first week of training, it wasn't until I'd been out there in the community doing the mahi myself that the fascinating and inspiring synthesis between natural and social environment really became apparent. To be clear, this was not what I expected. Having studied a people-centric arts degree majoring in sociology, I assumed that my sidestep into conservation, a result of not feeling ready for the world of policy, would mean putting on hold the use or development of what I had studied in exchange for pursuing a long-standing interest in preserving and restoring our native taiao. My first couple of roles seemed to affirm this belief. Time spent backcountry trapping and doing predator control around wetlands was educational and very much enjoyed, but resulted in community interactions being few and far between. It was to my surprise then, as I started contributing to checking the 13,000 traps and bait stations installed on the Miramar Peninsula, just how not only aware, but connected, passionate and active the community is in this mahi. To give some context to this statement, over 3,000 individual permissions were gathered in order to operate on Miramar. That's 3,000 individual relationships that were built within a population of just over 10,000, which I now get to have the pleasure of maintaining. And it really is a pleasure. From offers on shelter on rainy days to mostly turned down cups of tea, I get well looked after. But aside from those perks, what became immediately evident to me is how the success of this project depends on this community. Simply put, without those 3,000 permissions, eradication would be impossible. More than that, however, the community is our eyes and ears when it comes to hunting down the last few rats, and massive support to manpower in the form of the Predator-Free Miramar volunteers, led by local legend Dan Henry, and perhaps most crucially, the biggest source of inspiration for achieving eradication. To expand on this, being out in the field really gives you the feeling that not only does the project's success rely on the community, but in a way it is the community. I attribute this to the definite sense that people really see themselves as being a part of the solution, which is evidenced on a project level with people's willingness to participate in voluntary efforts such as chew card monitoring campaigns and the reporting of rat sightings. Ownership of the mahi is also something I see every week in my personal interactions in the field. It's awesome to see just how keen people are to know how the eradication is tracking in their garden, street and neighbourhood, and to offer what help and information they can. Most excitingly, since my responses to these queries are largely positive, as many residential areas have been rat-free for some time now, becoming ever more prevalent are tales of our native species rebounding in Miramar. Whether it's being shown in overflowing Weta Hotel, vivid descriptions of Karearea attacks, the new record for the largest tui flock, accounts of geckos and skigs under every stone in the garden, or kiriru, kaka and kakariki sightings, the stories share the same tone of excitement, and they represent a 200% increase in native tree weta population and a 33% increase in the abundance and distribution of native birds on Miramar relative to the start of the project. This is exactly what I meant when I suggested the community is the largest source of inspiration for achieving eradication, as it is really through hearing these stories that these statistics are brought to life, and it is through observing this connection to the mahi that I realise what the vision of a predator-free Te Whanganui-a-Tara actually looks like. A movement for our taiao, by our people. In a nutshell, it's incredible to see our native species rebounding in a community so engaged in making it happen, something which I find brings immense optimism for the future of conservation in our urban spaces. Thank you.